Hello there, welcome back to France, and well, Than Napoleon. Unfortunately, it's been a couple of days since last played. Been back back at home. I'm just here now to pick up my stuff. So I'll probably have an episode until the 19th of July. Yeah, 19th of July. I can guarantee episodes after that. I have to see if I can get anything else done before I leave. But that's basically how far I will allow myself to guarantee anything, which is not the best thing ever. I understand this, but it's sadly just how things are going to have to be during this, well, at this point in time. It's probably a better way of, well, setting things up. Now, we're going to continue where we left off. I'm still going to try to get the alliance with Lithuania here up and running. It's definitely going to be useful if I pull that off. Currently, they do not like the fact because we're allied to, or Lithuania is allied to Scandinavia, and France is allied to Austria. I am allied to Austria. I'll probably end up breaking that alliance though. Sorry, not the alliance that I have with Austria. I'm probably going to conquer Scandinavia. Basically conquer Scandinavia and then work my way to Muscovy and Russia. I might piss off Lithuania, but that's a risk that I'm willing to take. Austria isn't that powerful by itself. It doesn't really have any redeeming allies, except for basically myself. And of course, I can just go on a conquering spree here and fix a couple of the other issues. And again, in worst case scenario, I'll just have to try and get the Ottomans to turn, well, turn sides. Doubt that will happen, but you get my drift. And to be perfectly honest, military-wise, I do have 121,000 troops. I have a tremendous amount of manpower, and to be perfectly honest, if I went full-scale war in Austria, I'm probably going to be able to pull it off. Austria is very condensed, very centralized. I can just give crab's ass about the north and just run Austria right over, hopefully. It's of course going to be harsh. I'm probably going to have to consider creating some castles in the border regions, just to keep everything, well, working flawlessly, if you will. But even so, I should be able to make it work. So for the time being, we'll just make sure that our troops have been, well, replenished, recovered, take it however you want it. I'll be, again, creating the armies as they're supposed to be, and then we'll work from there and see what I decide to do. For now, I'll go back to, well, doing what I have been doing. We'll see how things turn out. There we go, our relations with Genoa is now high enough for us to offer a vassalization. Boom, it's been done. And with that we can also stop the relation improvement. What I'm going to do now is basically, again, make sure that my armies have been completely and utterly, well, perfected, if you will. I'm a little bit unsure how this is actually going to work out. It seems like I created one soldier too many, which is perfectly fine. But what we'll be doing here is moving most of our English troops, English holdings if you will, over to, well, our new target, which is Russia. We're going to be fighting another war with Russia, because our truces run out there. As you can see, our other truces here with basically everything else has also run out, because still it will be in 8 years' time. So we basically only have Russia, Scandinavia as targets right now, and we're going to use this to our advantage. We're going to probably target Scandinavia right after, and to be perfectly honest, what I'm going to just do is take everything they own. I'm probably just going to focus on taking the Finnish provinces first, because it will make it easier to plan things out. But over time I'm actually going to conquer the Scandinavian border, and it'll also make it very much easier once I get to Achivement Slesvig here to invade well, Berlin, Brandenburg, you get it. And again, Austria here, the Hungarian cause are apparently, well, they're still here. Croatian cores are there too. So again, we can potentially here create, sadly enough, Tyrol is gone. But I could potentially here create Austria, sorry, yeah, Hungary and Croatia as a way to break Austria a little bit. And I think I might do that. Probably just in first war take one of each province, create the two vassals, and then work from there. Should be perfectly fine though, because I will lose my relations with Austria. The only relation we have right now is that, as you can see here, we are both of the von Habsburg dynasty, and other than that, it's not really too much of a problem. I would really like it to unionize Austria, but let's just face it, that's just not likely, not at all. So I should probably take in my chance, but the Regency had a strong claim, so I couldn't actually take the chance then. So no worries. We're going to take Admin Tech 12 though, early modern administration, which allows me to have an administrative monarchy or an administrative republic. In terms of what we can have right now, we do have a feudal monarchy here, as you can see. So we might have to consider if you want to change to something that, for instance, gives national unrest Absolute monarchy is something we can not get yet, so I think we're just going to potentially get the oh, I'm already at the top. The administrative monarchy, just get a little bit of a boost here in terms of not tax and production, but also the monthly autonomy change. So we'll have to consider if we want to do that. But I think we'll just stick to what we have for now. We still need the admin points daily, so there's no reason to go on the offensive just yet. We will, however, upgrade both fleet and armor maintenance a tiny bit here to make it easier to move them around during or to fulfill the wishes and expectations that I have for them. Now, if you take a quick look here on Russia's army now, it's 55,000 men. They're over their force limit. They're running out of manpower pretty rapidly though, so that's a benefit for us. But it's still not a very good thing, if you want to put it that way. We're still going to be focusing on the Orthodox provinces, because again, that will be most beneficial in terms of how we want to handle this. But I'm also a little bit unsure how we want to handle the things in the future. But for now, let's just take overseas exploration. The next exploration idea here, colonial range plus 50. We can basically colonize whatever we want now. And with the next one, we'll definitely be in a very huge advantage. We get -10 to tech cost. We get, of course, the +20 global settlers. It will increase our speed by a lot. So all in all, it will be very, very good. We're going to increase manpower or military power in the capital again, because again, I don't want to spend too many points on military right now. I know that I probably should, but still, we should be fine. We are on the same ground now as the Russians, which isn't the best thing ever. But again, this is something that I should be able to handle. So my forces have been unionized, I guess you could say. They have their right composition now, so it should be fine in just basically going on the offensive against Russia, probably moving over all the forces in England, potentially. I might have to do that. But again, I should be perfectly fine in going on an offensive against Russia. And again, it would be sweet if I could get the alliance with Lithuania up and running, but they're just allied to too many people that I'm allied with. I would really love it if we could get rid of Norway and Scandinavia, but I'll have to see. Potentially here, what I might have to do is just declare war on Norway, bring Austria and Bohemia to crush Lithuania. I actually want to bring in Bohemia into this war, and the reason why is very, very simple. I don't want to break the, not the truce per se, but the friendship, I guess you could say, that I built up with Lithuania. Sorry, Bohemia and Lithuania does have an alliance, and I don't want to break that alliance. That's what I'm getting at. I'm just being very stupid here in the way that I'm saying it. So I want the Bohemia-Lithuanian alliance to continue, and thus we will not be doing anything rash, like bringing Bohemia into the war. But yeah, for the time being, we will be focusing on, well, dealing with our problems as they are. I might have to create more troops, not surprisingly. But to be perfectly honest, I can sustain that. It's just my advices currently are very costly, and of course the second fleet that I created isn't exactly cheap to use either. And again, I'm very surprised I haven't actually gotten any collision yet, so I'm tempted to just go full out tyrant here and just see how things work out. Again, I'm going to pick up 2 more troops, just because of the fact that it will give me more of an advantage, I dare say. And we're going to just keep, or can I send you there? Nope. Supply limits on these places are just too tiny. But we're going to go ahead here, go maximum arm maintenance. Even if we declare war on Russia, they don't actually have a fleet, so there's no reason. Well, I say that they have 5 ships, so they have a tiny fleet, not a big one. So again, they shouldn't be too much of a threat, but they could potentially, definitely be a problem child, if you will. So we'll have to deal with that as we play our cards. But for the time being, I'll just try and move my troops into position, and we'll see what we end up with here. As I said, I'll get 2 more troops into the battlefield, which is going to exhaust my manpower quite a bit, because the fact is that the manpower rating that I'm getting isn't too good. So I definitely will have to flood their provinces from the get-go, these 3, and then we'll just see how it works from there. So let's go ahead here. As soon as we get the guy in Scandinavia to come back, we're going to go ahead and declare war. I'm still losing manpower just by basically existing at this point because of how we're doing things. You are not at 100% fleet maintenance. I like this. It's actually giving you a warning now. I think we're going with never. It's a trading station basically. It seems like, so it should be fine. And Bohemia and Poland will actually join them in this war, so that's good too. So let's go ahead and take Neva. I'll move 2 troops on there. I'll split these guys into Olonetsk and Kolmogorye, and we'll send these guys to assist a little bit. And of course, the goal will be to send the ships with troops to, of course, supply ourselves a little bit more. So we should be fine still, but it's going to cost me quite a bit here. France get Marie Cruz until for 20 years. Marie Cruz, it was woman and mathematician Marie Cruz who introduced the decimal system here in France. She is an accomplished writer and teacher at Charlotte Rose de Caumont La Fosse, and her study on the decimal system was dedicated to the saffron-tinted princess Madame de Cambalet, Duchesse d'Argnon, niece of Cardinal de Richelieu, and her patron. Sorry that I'm butchering these names and the French in general. My apologies. The study has introduced 2 fundamental innovations: decimal point to separate the mantissa of the decimal parts, and the use of a 0 in decimal part to indicate a place is absent. So it'll be a great use. I think we'll take the -5% technology cost. That's actually going to be useful. Apparently I sent these guys into war here for no good reason. Now, who's our ruler here? I think we have a pretty good one. 432. 442. 436. Well, the funny thing is, it is pretty old. The heir is just 3 years old though. So we're going to put the leader in charge here. See how this goes. It could potentially go horrifyingly bad. We do have experience with things going horrifyingly bad here, and it's already doing that, as you can see. No, we're actually going to win the battle, I think. Yes, we won the battle, but we'll lose the war because there's another huge stack here incoming. And let's just move these guys down here to help too. But yeah, again, we're going to be fighting a war of attrition. Russia is already mostly out of troops. So it's going to be very interesting to see just how they will handle this. I already had some English West Indies bastard rise up in revolts. England is extremely colonialized or colonial happy. Are you kidding me, England? I do also need to deal with Holland. Deal with Holland sooner or later. But they've been kind enough to actually explore the area for me, and what it seems like here is that Ming has completely collapsed. Completely. I can't see a single trace of them. That's actually quite interesting. Japan has also formed perfectly. 9, 12, 11, so not too far back in tech, but that's mostly due to the fact they're king here. 40-year-old, 0. The heir is 220, not the greatest either. So I guess that is due to that. But yeah, this is very, very interesting. We also have a very big, strong Persia here, so that could be probably a counterweight to the Ottomans. India hasn't had too big of a, well, joining, but we have a big Baluchistan, big Delhi, Malwa, Bamanes. Vinagya has completely disintegrated too. There's definitely some interesting things happening here in this map. We have a huge Jiangsu. I am definitely looking forward to the continuation of this, basically because I'm leaving the Eastern AI to its own devices. But I should probably check my own devices here, because we do have a war against Russia. And so far, we have learned that wars against Russia is not my biggest forte. Did they just turn around? Yeah, they turned around. They went to Tikhvin. So we can just sit back here and wait for a little while. They are losing troops though, which is the beneficial or most important part here. You guys are joining me, and yeah, we're going to pull back probably 1 or 2 of those armies just for safety's sake. I'm going to put you there. We're going to put these guys here, and I'll have you stand in Kexel as a defensive force, stabilizing force if you will. And once the second army comes here too, we'll send that down to Neva as well. As long as we have Neva under control, we should be perfectly fine. Again, it's a castle, so as long as we get Kolmogorye, Neva, we can start moving from there. There is also apparently a Polish army here already, Bohemian army incoming, 2 of them, 40,000 Bohemian men incoming. So we don't have too much of a problem there. There's also very few. Oh, the Russian fleet has been upgraded. I know that my navy has suffered or is low maintenance right now, but it should still do some decent damage to the Russian one. So we're going to take a gamble, and hopefully it won't be something I will regret. To be perfectly honest, it might be, because they have 3 times the amount of morale, and I'm losing my frigates here pretty quickly. Yep, this was a very bad idea. They only lost 1 ship, so I need Morale is actually quite important, but it doesn't actually show in regular battles, just sea battles, which is hilarious, but I guess we can deal with that. For the time being, however, we'll just allow the war to continue. As you can see, Bohemia is incredibly efficient. Already sieged a castle. Russian army of, well, a huge of them. Are they coming for me, or are they coming for the Bohemian Polish coalition army? I'm a little bit unsure, but we'll continue this next time. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.